So you're sitting there, wondering if your silence is a mistake. You're questioning whether it's some form of weakness, a strategy that'll get you nowhere. Let me ask you, who put that doubt in your head? Was it your inner voice, whispering insecurities? Or was it the way they reacted when you went silent? Oh, I see it now. You can't see the effect yet, can you? You can't feel the shift happening because it's happening beneath the surface. You're looking for an instant change, but that's not how it works. Silence is never about them, even though you might think so. Here's the truth. You're not doing this to make them miss you. You're not playing their game anymore. Who taught you to seek their validation, to beg for their attention, to chase after their approval? Why are you still giving them power over you? Why do you care if they notice you, if they choose you, if they even remember you? Don't you realize what this chase has cost you? The energy, the desperation, the constant hoping. You've become someone you barely recognize, caught in their world, trying to earn what you should have never had to fight for in the first place. If you see it, why aren't you doing something about it? Let's be clear, the silence isn't a tool to manipulate them into caring about you. That's a lie. This is not about bending to their will. It's about you. It's about standing in your power, refusing to play their game, and reclaiming your independence. This silence is your declaration of freedom. You're not a doormat to be stepped on, and you're done with being a pawn in their game. The moment you stop chasing, you break free, and it's the most empowering thing you'll ever do. If you've been following other advice that tries to teach you how to win them back with silence, stop right now. That's just a trap, a toxic mindset that keeps you tethered to their whims. What we're doing here is different. This is about taking back control and owning your worth. Because silence isn't a game, it's a revolution, a reclamation of your soul. This silence is not about hurting anyone, it's about healing you. It's the mirror that reflects your worth, showing you that they don't deserve your time, your energy, or your thoughts. And when you choose silence, it's not about punishing them, it's about rising above. It's about proving to yourself that you've always been enough, that you don't need them to feel whole. You might still wonder if it'll make them feel something. Will it hurt them? Will they notice? Oh, they'll notice, but here's the kicker. It's not about making them suffer, it's about making them realize they've lost something invaluable. When you were begging for their attention, they laughed, didn't they? Behind that mask of indifference, they mocked you. They thought you'd always come back. But silence changes everything. Tony Gaskins said it perfectly. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. And when you reinforce silence, when you stop allowing them to control you, the tables turn. Right now you might not see it, but your silence is the loudest lesson they'll ever receive. It's not just a break in the conversation, it's a message they'll never forget. When they stare into the silence you've created, they'll see their own emptiness, the cracks in their manipulation, and the absence of someone they once took for granted. That's power. That's when they realize you're no longer their puppet. You've become the master of your own life. Picture this. You've spent years knocking on the same door, hoping they'll let you in, bruising your knuckles, begging for a glimpse of their attention. But here's the truth. They left a long time ago. The door was always empty. The question is, how long are you going to stand there? Silence is you walking away, leaving that door to crumble. It's the end of a chapter, the moment you stop wasting your energy on someone who doesn't even see your worth. But now, when you've embraced silence, when you've decided you're done with their game, oh, how the tides have turned. They'll try to pull the same old strings, expecting you to jump. But when nothing happens, it will hit them harder than you can imagine. The absence of your presence will ring louder than any words ever could. Their world will begin to crack, and they'll be left wondering, what happened? Where did I go wrong? But here's the important part. Don't focus on them. This isn't about revenge. This is about you. It's about becoming untouchable, showing yourself that you're no longer someone who waits around for scraps. You're the storm they'll never forget, the fire that's too strong to be extinguished. This is your transformation. This is you stepping into your power. If you're ready to embrace this transformation, to make your silence your strength, I want you to claim it. Type it in the comments. My silence is my strength. Own it. Say it for yourself, not for anyone else. Because this isn't about them, it's about you. Now hit that like button, subscribe, and join us. This is your wake-up call. You are unstoppable. You are untouchable. You are enough. Let's begin your journey of transformation together. Number 1. The silence reset. Let's get one thing straight. This silence, it's not about them. It never was. You've been walking around wondering, will they miss me? Will they notice my absence? As though their attention determines your worth. But let me drop a truth bomb. They don't deserve the power of your silence if it's just to make them see you. This silence is about you. It's about hitting the reset button on all the mental chaos, manipulation and noise they've imposed on you. Silence is your sanctuary. It's your clean slate. It's your ultimate weapon, not to hurt them, but to rebuild yourself. Picture this. You've been staring at a broken mirror, each crack representing a piece of yourself that was lost while you chased after them, trying to prove your value. But here's the hard reality. They don't even care about those cracks. They aren't looking at you. They never have been. The silence you're embracing. It's your chance to stop fixing the mirror for them and start reflecting yourself. You are not broken. You are in the process of transformation. Confucius nailed it when he said, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." And when you conquer your silence, you'll realize it was never about winning a battle with them. It was always about winning the war within. Silence is your battlefield. It's where you confront and destroy the doubts, insecurities and fears that they've planted in your mind. It's the place where you become untouchable. You might ask, how can silence change anything? Let me tell you, silence isn't the absence of noise, it's the presence of power. Imagine this. You're at a concert and the music's pumping. Everyone is lost in the rhythm. Suddenly, the music cuts out. The silence that follows. It's deafening. That's the silence you're stepping into. When you go silent, you're not just walking away. You're leaving a void they can't ignore. You're stepping off their stage and turning their spotlight into shadows. And trust me, they'll feel it. But here's where the real magic happens. This silence isn't for them. It's for you. It's your song, your anthem, and you're the only one who needs to hear it. Silence isn't about revenge. It's not about making them feel bad or manipulating them into missing you. It's about healing yourself. Think of it like this. Silence is the bandage on a wound you've been bleeding from for too long, offering you the chance to stop the bleeding and let the wound heal in peace. By choosing silence, you're not plotting their downfall. You're rising from the ashes, stronger than ever. Imagine you're a tree standing in the middle of a storm, the wind howling with their manipulation, their rejection, and their indifference. For so long, you've bent under the pressure, trying not to break. But what happens when the tree stops bending? The storm loses its power. Your silence is that moment. You stand tall, the storm rages, but it can't touch you. And here's the kicker. You're not standing tall for them. You're doing it for yourself, still wondering why this isn't about them. Let me ask you this. What have they done to deserve your energy, your thoughts, your time? Every moment you spend wondering if they're feeling your silence is another moment you're handing them your power. But when you stop caring, when you truly stop, you take that power back. And oh, my friend, that power is unstoppable. Silence isn't about them, it's about breaking free from their hold on you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And let me tell you, silence is not revenge. It's rising above it all. So now, let's focus on you, not them. This silence is your reset. It's your opportunity to step back and ask the real questions. Who am I without their validation? What do I want for myself? How can I rebuild stronger, better, untouchable? The silence is where you start to find these answers. And the more you focus on yourself, the less you'll care about their reaction. Because here's the truth, their reaction doesn't matter. What matters is your transformation. So, are you ready to make this silence yours? Are you ready to step away from their games, their drama, their manipulation, and finally reclaim your power? This silence isn't about them, it's about you. With every quiet moment, you're proving something incredible. You are unstoppable, you are untouchable, you are enough. If you're ready for this transformation, buckle up, because this is just the beginning. The silence is the first step in your journey. And trust me, where you're headed, they'll never see it coming. Hit that like button and let's keep moving forward. The power is yours, and it's just getting started. Number 2. The silent echo picture. This, a stage, dimly lit, where for so long you were the star of the show. Every word you spoke, every move you made was all designed to win their approval. You played the role, you followed the script and the applause. It was all you ever needed, but then you step off. The stage stays set, the lights stay on, but you're gone. The audience? They stand there, confused, waiting for the performance to continue. This question mark, this is silence. It's the empty stage. It's the absence that they didn't expect. And now they can't explain it. And here's the thing about silence. It echoes louder than any words could. They may dismiss it at first, brush it off like it's just a phase. But trust me, silence has a way of creeping into their thoughts, expanding until they can't ignore it. You've taken away their control, and that silence, it's the sound they can't escape. For so long, they were used to your presence, your attention, your validation. But now that it's gone, it's like a heartbeat missing from the rhythm of their life. They may not notice it at first, but sooner or later they'll feel something is off. And here's where the power lies. You didn't do this to hurt them. Oh no, that would be too predictable. Your silence isn't a punishment. It's the result of your growth. It's your refusal to keep playing the role they wrote for you. But despite the fact that it's about your personal evolution, your silence still hits them deeper than anything you could have said. Think back to when you were chasing them. You were predictable, always available, always there when they needed you. They thrived on that predictability, pulling the strings, and you danced. But now when they pull the same strings, nothing happens. And that, my friend, is when the panic sets in. Silence forces them to confront the one thing they've been running from all along, themselves. They've been handed a mirror, an emotional mirror, and it's the kind they can't look away from. Every time they think about your absence, they have no choice but to face their actions, their flaws, and their own insecurities. That's the magic of silence. It doesn't just speak, it forces them to listen. But silence isn't just an absence, it's a teacher. Not for you, you've already moved on, but for them. When you were there, they took you for granted. You were like a river they could always draw from. But now, the river has dried up, and they're left parched, searching for something they assumed would always be there. Silence creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. And here's the kicker. You're not doing this for them. You're not waiting, not counting the days, not checking your phone to see if they've noticed. No, my friend, You've already left the stage, the echo of your silence. That's their journey now. And you? You've stepped into your own. Let's get something clear. This isn't about revenge. It's not about sitting back and waiting for them to feel the sting of their own absence. No, silence isn't about punishing them. It's about transforming yourself. And yet, even without intending to, it does something profound to them. Silence breaks the cycle of predictability. It takes away their safety net. They were used to you being there, but now they're left in the unknown, wondering why you're not fighting for them anymore, why you're not reaching out, why they're not as important as they thought they were. But here's the thing about people who thrive on control. Silence messes with their psyche. They'll try to fill the void you've left. They'll replay old conversations, dissect your last words, and check your social media just to see if they've missed something. But the truth? What's changed is you. They're not chasing answers about your silence. They're chasing the version of you they took for granted, the version who was always there. But guess what? That version is gone. Think of it like this. A song is playing and then it suddenly stops. The silence that follows, it's deafening. It's the silence that makes the absence unbearable. That's what you've done. Your silence contrasts with the noise that used to fill their life, and in that contrast, they feel the weight of your absence. They used to thrive on control, on the chase, but now they're chasing an echo, your echo. And here's where it gets interesting. They'll try to pull you back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually they'll start to wonder, why haven't you called? Why haven't you texted? What are you doing? Who are you with? They'll question themselves. They'll question you. But here's the most important part. You're not waiting for them to come back. You're not wondering when they'll reach out, not hoping for that call, not refreshing your messages. That's the difference between silence as power and silence as manipulation. Your silence is power because it's rooted in self-respect. You're not playing their game. You've already won. And the prize? It's not them. It's you. The silent echo is simply information, a distant noise you can hear but don't hold on to. You've detached. And the best part? You don't care what happens on their side. This journey, it was never about them. It's about you. So are you ready to embrace this power? Are you ready to step into the person you were always meant to be? Unstoppable, untouchable, enough. Imagine what your life could look like when you break free from their control, their drama, their manipulation. Hit that like button if you're ready to take the next step. And let's keep moving forward. This is just the beginning. The silent echo is only the start of your transformation. And trust me, it's going to leave them questioning everything. Number 3. Detachment is power. Imagine for a moment that you're carrying a heavy burden, a boulder tied to you by a rope. Every single step you take, you're dragging that weight with you. The longer you walk, the harder it becomes, the more it wears you down, and yet you keep telling yourself, maybe if I try harder, it'll get easier. But what if I told you that the weight isn't even necessary? What if I told you that you can simply cut the rope and walk away free? That, my friend, is detachment. It's not about abandoning them or shutting them out. It's about liberating yourself from the chains you've voluntarily worn. For too long, you've been tethered to their opinions, their approval, their chaos. You've been chasing their validation, hoping that one day if you try hard enough, they'll finally see your worth. But has it worked? Be honest with yourself. The harder you pull for them to recognize you, the tighter the rope becomes. Here's the game-changing truth. Detachment is the key to unlocking your true power. Not because it forces them to miss you, that's just an unexpected side effect, but because it shifts the focus back to where it belongs. You. Think of detachment as stepping out of the storm. When you're constantly chasing them, begging for attention, or hoping to be chosen, you're standing right in the middle of their whirlwind. The wind howls, the rain beats down, and there you are, trying to survive. But detachment is the moment you step out of that storm, watching it rage on without you. Suddenly, the noise doesn't matter, and the chaos no longer touches you. They are left standing in the mess they created, while you stand strong, unaffected. Let's address that fear you're holding on to, the one that tells you, if I detach, they'll forget me. I'll lose everything. But here's the secret. By detaching, you're not losing anything. You're gaining everything. Detachment isn't about not caring anymore. It's about realizing that you don't need their approval to feel whole. It's the moment you realize that their presence or absence doesn't define your value. Epictetus nailed it when he said, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them." Your suffering has never been about their actions. It's been about the meaning you attach to them. Detachment is the powerful act of tearing away that meaning and replacing it with one simple truth. You are enough. Imagine this. You're walking through a garden, holding a bucket of water. With every step, a little bit spills out. The more you focus on not losing it, the more frantic you become. But then, you stop. You let the water spill. And when you do, you realize something profound. They were never watching you anyway. The garden doesn't care about the water you're spilling, and neither do they. You've been pouring out your energy, your emotions, your attention into something that never truly appreciated it. Detachment is setting that bucket down and deciding that your energy is yours to keep. Here's where detachment becomes even more transformative. It forces you to turn inward. All the energy you've been giving them, now it's yours to build, to grow, to heal. Detachment creates the space for you to refocus your energy on what really matters, you. But make no mistake, it's not easy. Detachment is a practice. It's not something you just do once and forget about. Every day you'll need to remind yourself that this journey is about your growth. When your mind wanders back to them, when the urge to chase creeps in, you'll need to say to yourself, "No, this is about me." And when you truly detach, something incredible happens. You stop reacting. You stop waiting for them. You stop giving them the power to control your emotions. In that space of silence and stillness, you find a kind of quiet power you've never known. And in that quiet, you begin to see yourself clearly, not as someone chasing after their affection, but as someone who commands their own attention, their own life. So, my friend, are you ready to let go of that rope? Are you ready to stop standing in the storm and finally step into your own power? Detachment isn't just about walking away from them, it's about walking into the life that's waiting for you. When you take that first step, you'll wonder why you ever held on so tightly in the first place. And here's the most exciting part. Detachment isn't the end. It's the doorway to your transformation. When you stop wasting your energy on people who never deserved it, you'll unlock a strength inside you that's been waiting to rise. What happens when you finally pour all that power back into yourself? What becomes possible when you stop chasing and start creating? Hit that like button if you're ready to move forward, and trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. This journey is just beginning. Number 4. The unexpected shift. Imagine a fisherman who's spent years casting his net, confident that every day he'll reel in a catch. For months, or maybe even years, you've been that fish, predictable, always biting the bait, always swimming into his trap. But now, you're gone. The net is cast, but there's nothing there. They pull it up, expecting to feel that familiar weight, but instead, it's empty. No sign of you. No trace. And that That's the unexpected shift your silence has created. Here's what they don't realize. Their sense of control, their confidence, their entire self-assured ego has been built on the certainty of your reactions. Every time you reached out, every time you gave them a piece of yourself, you reinforced their grip on the situation. They knew you'd always be there, always responding, always available. But now they're standing in the quiet, holding an empty net with no clue how to fill it. What's powerful about this shift is that it doesn't happen overnight. At first, they'll brush it off. Oh, they're just upset. They'll come back. But as the silence stretches into days, then weeks, something starts to crack. That unshakable confidence, it begins to falter. That smug certainty turns into confusion and doubt. They'll find themselves wondering, why aren't they reacting? What changed? And let's be clear about this. Your silence isn't some clever trick or game. It's a conscious decision to stop giving your energy to someone who hasn't earned it. The irony? You didn't chase them, and yet they start to chase you. They'll try little tricks, maybe a text here or there, a post designed to tug at your heartstrings, something to make you wonder if they care. But it's not care, it's desperation. It's them trying to see if they can still control you, if they can still make you bite that bait. And here's where your power lies. You don't respond. You don't react. You stay silent, grounded, steady, in control of your own peace. This shift is the one they never saw coming. They were so sure they had you figured out, convinced that you'd always be there. But now it's like the rug's been pulled out from under them. They're left standing there, fumbling, trying to regain the control they once had over you. They're the ones scrambling now, not you. And that emptiness they feel, that's your strength echoing in their mind. Think about it like this. Imagine a puppet master who's spent years pulling the strings of a puppet, with the audience watching in awe. You were that puppet, always reacting, always responding, always dancing to their rhythm. But now, the strings are cut, the puppet's gone. They're left alone on stage, tugging at strings that no longer connect to anything. And that empty stage, that's what haunts them. Soon their efforts will become more frantic. A breadcrumb of attention here, a cryptic message there, anything to make you react. They'll dangle nostalgia, guilt, even curiosity, hoping you'll bite. But the truth is, none of this is about them caring for you. It's about them trying to regain the power they've lost. They've lost control over you, and now they're scrambling to find a way back in. And here's the most empowering part. You're not waiting for them. You're not sitting by the phone, wondering if they'll reach out. You've already moved forward. You've already reclaimed your energy. Their chase is a reaction to your growth, not a validation of it. The more you focus on yourself, the less their attempts will matter. But don't be fooled by their attempts. When they start chasing, don't let it make you question your decision. It's not about them wanting you back. It's about them wanting to feel the power they've lost. If you give in, if you break your silence, you'll only fall back into the cycle you've worked so hard to escape. Stay silent. Stay strong. This shift is a reflection of your power. It's not just about making them chase you. It's about making them confront the reality of your absence. But remember, their chase isn't your victory. Your silence isn't about them. It's about you. So, my friend, as they tug at the strings that no longer bind you, stay grounded in your growth. Keep walking your path. This unexpected shift, it's just another ripple in the transformation that's already unfolding. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and get ready for what comes next, because trust me, it's all about you. Number 5. Becoming the unreachable. Becoming the person you've always been meant to be starts the moment you stop waiting for others to define you. Silence isn't just a pause, It's the spark that ignites your transformation. In this space of stillness, the old version of you fades away, leaving behind something far stronger, more resilient and untouchable. This isn't the end, this is the rebirth. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, every broken part of you, every compromise and every piece of self-doubt has burned away, leaving only the unbreakable essence of who you truly are. So, who are you now, without their influence? For too long, you've molded yourself to fit their expectations, seeking validation from people who only knew you in fragments. But now, you stand on your own, free from their shadow, no longer defined by their approval. This is your moment to stop being what they want and start becoming who you are meant to be. You're no longer trying to fit into someone else's world. You're stepping into your own. Rebuilding starts with realizing one simple truth. You were never incomplete without them. Your strength, your value and your worth were there all along, hidden beneath layers of doubt and the need to prove your worth. Silence is the tool that strips those layers away. In this space, you finally see that your worth doesn't depend on their validation. It never did. But recognizing your worth is just the beginning. Now, it's time to level up. Pour all the energy you used to invest in them into becoming the best version of yourself. Start by taking care of your body, whether it's hitting the gym, going for long walks, or finally taking up that sport you've always been curious about. There's something transformative about strengthening your body. It's not just about the physical changes, it's the discipline and confidence that follow. You send yourself a powerful message, I am worth the effort. Then comes emotional growth. It's time to stop explaining yourself and start setting firm boundaries. Healing isn't about rehashing old wounds for others to see. It's about protecting your peace. Journaling, therapy, meditation, these aren't just trendy buzzwords. They're the tools you use to understand your emotions and take control over them. The more you understand yourself, the more unshakable you become. And don't forget mental growth. Dive into books that challenge your beliefs. Learn new skills that excite you. Explore hobbies that spark joy. The more you grow mentally, the more you realize how little space there is for the drama of others. You're too busy focusing on your future to worry about what they're doing. As you build this new version of yourself, you'll notice something powerful happening. You'll become unreachable, not because you're playing hard to get, but because your life has become so full, so focused on your own growth, that there's no room left for distractions. And that's exactly the point. You're not playing their game anymore. You're building a life that's so rich, so fulfilling, that you no longer need their attention, their validation, or their presence. The beauty of your silence is that it doesn't need to be explained. You don't owe them a justification for your absence or your growth. Mystery is magnetic, and as you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, they'll watch from the sidelines, confused, curious, and utterly out of the loop. But here's the secret. You don't care if they're watching. Your life is no longer about them, it's about you. This transformation isn't about making them regret losing you, it's about discovering what you've gained: confidence, independence, and self-respect. These aren't things you can fake. They're the result of every decision you've made to put yourself first. Confidence isn't loud or showy. It's in the quiet strength with which you move through the world, the way you make decisions without second-guessing, and the way you keep moving forward, regardless of what they think. As you evolve, you'll realize something incredible. Their opinions won't matter. What once consumed your thoughts will fade into the background. Their approval, it no longer holds weight. The only validation that matters now is your own. So, here's the question. Are you ready to step fully into this transformation? Are you ready to embrace your untouchable self, the confidence and the strength that have been waiting inside you all along. This isn't about becoming someone they'll notice. This is about becoming someone you're proud to be, someone who no longer needs external validation because they've already recognized their own worth. If you're ready to continue this journey, hit that like button and let's move forward. The next chapter is about living this transformation unapologetically, and trust me, this is where everything changes. Number 6. The silence trap. When they try to creep back into your life, don't be fooled. They always do. But their return has nothing to do with missing you, and everything to do with missing the power they once held over you. You see, their ego has been bruised, and now they're testing the waters, trying to see if they still have a grip on your emotions. It's not about love or regret. It's about control. They don't want you. They want to feel like they still matter in your world, like they still have a say in your story. Curiosity starts to claw at them too. The silence you've created, your complete indifference to their existence, it eats away at them. They can't stand being shut out of your world. The narrative they thought was all about them is now completely out of their reach, and it's driving them crazy. They'll wonder what you're doing, who you're spending time with, and why they no longer have a front row seat to your life. Fear kicks in too, because deep down they realize what you've already figured out. They don't own you anymore. The fear of losing control over someone they thought was theirs to command is a far greater loss than your absence ever was. They are like moths, drawn to your flame. But this time, you're the fire that's too hot to touch. They'll hover around you, trying to get close, hoping for that warmth they once took for granted. But as they inch closer, they'll start to feel the burn, the realization that you've become untouchable. That fire, it's fueled by your growth, your strength, your transformation, and it burns far too brightly for them to ever reach again. When they come back, don't be fooled by their old tricks. The casual text, the nostalgic comment, the half-hearted apology that leaves out everything they did to hurt you. These aren't gestures of remorse. They're attempts to reel you back in. They want to see if you'll react, if you'll bite, if they can drag you back into the same toxic patterns you've fought so hard to escape. But here's the key. You don't engage. You don't fall for it. Instead, you stand firm in your boundaries. Their return isn't an invitation, it's a reminder that you've moved beyond the games they play, beyond the manipulation, beyond the chaos. You've rebuilt yourself, transformed into someone who knows their worth and won't settle for anything less than respect. Your silence has already said everything you need to say. The trap they're setting is one you've already outsmarted. They hope you'll react, that you'll let down your guard and open the door to let them back in. But you're smarter now, stronger. You're untouchable. Let them see your brilliance from afar, but never let them get close enough to steal your peace again. So when they come back, don't let them pull you back into their web. Stay focused, stay firm, and protect the power you've reclaimed. This is your time now, and trust me, it only gets better from here. Number 7. The grand transformation, unstoppable, unbreakable, unfathomable. This is your defining moment, the culmination of everything you've endured and transformed. All the silence, the detachment, the rebuilding. It was never just about surviving. It was about your ultimate evolution. You've gone from chasing after their approval to becoming the force they can never reach. You are no longer the one who longs for inclusion. You are the one others wish they could access. Reflect on where you began. You started by using silence, not as a weapon, but as a powerful shield, shielding yourself from toxicity, protecting your peace, and creating space for your growth. You detached from their grasp, severing the ties that once defined your worth through their eyes, and through it all, you rebuilt yourself. Piece by piece you emerged as a stronger, wiser, untouchable version of yourself. This is the grand transformation, and it's not about getting even, nor is it about them. It's about stepping into the fullest version of you. Your silence wasn't passive, it was your ascension. It was the moment you decided to stop living in response to their expectations and start living on your own terms. Let them watch, let them question, let them try to figure out what happened, but never let them drag you back into their world. You've risen above all of that. Now you stand tall, unshaken. This new version of you doesn't explain, doesn't chase, and doesn't care about what they think. You have become whole, complete, powerful, and free from the chains of their influence. Everything you did, the silence, the detachment, the inner work, has brought you here. You are no longer the person you were, and you'll never be that version again. You've let go of the past, and you've embraced the unstoppable force you are today. They'll never touch you again, not because they don't want to, but because they can't. You've ascended to a place of pure strength where their games no longer reach you. Hold your head high. Celebrate the power you've found within yourself. This is your story, your victory, one of growth, self-respect, and unapologetic confidence. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to the channel and get ready for the next chapter of your journey. It's only just beginning.